Hey, what's going on, everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer deck tech and the fourth episode celebrating the Lost Caverns of Ixalan coming out very soon. We have been coming out with a new deck tech every single day, and today we're going to be talking about Bant Explore. I'm very excited to bring this list to you. As always, at the end of the video, let me know in the comments section below. Is there any card that I forgot? Is there any card that is definitely very spicy that should be in the deck? And as always, if you have any suggestions on upcoming deck techs, just let me know in the comment section below. So, all right, Bant Explore. A little bit of a disclaimer. There's very little bit. There's not a lot of blue cards in this deck. I wanted to put Bant because I couldn't really come up with a new name, and it is technically Bant, but there's really only one blue card in the deck, but it was so good I couldn't not include it. So let's go ahead and hop into it here. So, a couple of our 1-drops. We're playing 4 Senate Scout? We're going to go Senate Scout. 1/1 for 1. When it enters the battlefield, it explores. Just a fantastic creature in general. Obviously, for those who don't know, explore. Reveal the top card of your library. Put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Then put the card back, or put it into your graveyard. So just a really good way at filtering our land drops, and as well as any other cards that we want to draw or don't draw, we can go ahead and get rid of them. It's just fantastic. We're also playing 4 Jadelight Spelunker, somewhat similar to Senate Scout, but it's a 1/1 for green and X. When it enters the battlefield, it explores X times. So, a little bit of a disclaimer. I know a lot of people are thinking, like, Jadelight Spelunker is pretty much just better than Senate Scout. Why are you playing Jadelight Spelunker over Senate Scout? The reason why is because of Collected Company. Spoiler alert. It doesn't work very well with Jadelight Spelunker. You know, we don't really want to Collected Company into it, but it's still a fantastic card. So that's why I'm playing 2 copies of it. We're also playing 4 Hardened Scales. It's an enchantment if 1 or more 1/1 counters will be placed on a creature control. That many +1 are placed on it instead, which is just fantastic. Every time we explore and get a +1/+1 counter, it gets even bigger, which is just very awesome in general. So those are some of our 1-drops. We've got a couple other spicy cards to talk about. We're playing 4 Wild Growth Walker. This card is an absolute beating. I would say the best card in the deck. 1/3 for 2. Whenever a creature you control explores, put a +1/+1 counter on Wild Growth Walker, and you gain 3 life. And that triggers for each instance of its exploring. So if we're exploring like 4 times, it gets 4 1/1 counters and we gain 12 life. Wild Growth Walker is just an unstoppable force. If our opponent does not have removal spell for this thing, it is going to single-handedly take over the game. I cannot say enough. This card is the best card in the deck overall. We're also playing 4 Jadelight Ranger, which was its best friend in Standard. 2/1 for 3. When it enters the battlefield, it explores, then it explores again, which is just fantastic. Card, can't really say enough good things about Jadelight Ranger for those who played Standard at that time. You guys all know how good that this card is. But that card is great in Standard at the time. Let's talk about a card that's going to be entering Standard now. We're playing 3 copies of Sentinel of the Nameless City. 3/4 for 3 with Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, create a map token. What's a map token? Oh, we can tap 1, tap it, and explore. We're just doing more exploring, more 1/1 counter shenanigans. Just buffing the creature. It doesn't even have to be the Sentinel itself. We can also have another creature explore, which is just fantastic. So we are filtering our draws very easily in a deck like this. All right, so our next slide, we've got a couple spicy cards to talk about. Some of our great 2-drops. We're playing 4 Conclave Mentor and 4 Botanical Brawler. Similar cards, but different. So Conclave Mentor obviously has the Hardened Scales text. If 1 or more 1/1 counters will be put on a creature control, that many +1 are put on instead, and then when it dies, you gain life equal to its power. So obviously, when we explore, our creatures get additional counters. We're also playing 4 Botanical Brawler. Enters with 2 1/1 counters. And then whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on another permanent you control, if it's the first time 1/1 counters have been put on at that turn, put a +1/+1 counter on the Botanical Brawler. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and play our creature. It's going to explore. We're going to get a +1/+1 counter. Hopefully, we'll maybe have a Conclave Mentor or a Hardened Scales, which is going to trigger that. Then Botanical Brawler is going to trigger. It's going to get its own +1/+1 counter. But, oh, we're also playing a Hardened Scales, so it's going to get another +1/+1 counter. So Botanical Brawler says, you know what? You're getting a +1/+1 counter? No. We are getting a +1/+1 counter, which is just fantastic. Very big fan of Botanical Brawler. Then as our 1 blue card in the deck, we're playing 3, I can never pronounce those, Nikanzeal Current Conductor. It's a 2/3 for 2. Whenever a creature you control explores a land card, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Whenever a creature you control explores a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on it, which just makes our exploring even better. So, oh, we explore a land to our hand. Okay, well, we can put it into play. oh, you explored and a creature gets a +1/+1 counter. Well, I also get a +1/+1 counter. It's just fantastic. And then on top of that, that's getting a 1/1 counter. Then we have a Botanical Brawler in play. That's going to get a +1/+1 counter. Conclave Mentor is in play. Oh, wait, it's getting 2 +1/+1 counters instead, which is just fantastic. This deck, just 1/1 counters. If you love 1/1 counters and you've got like so many dice and you don't know what to do with them, this is definitely the deck for you. So, anyways, these are some of our very, very powerful 2-drops here we're playing in the deck, but we're not quite done yet. We've got a couple of instants we need to talk about. We're playing Forge Remoka's Command. This card is fantastic. Helps protect us against, damage-based removal spells, which is fantastic. We can make an opponent sacrifice an enchantment if our playing like fires or anything like that, or even humans, and they're playing like Wedding Announcement or the Ossifications. We go ahead and make them sacrifice that, and we get our creatures back. Or we can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, which is the mode we're going to be doing a lot. We've got a lot of, additional +1/+1 counter shenanigans, so we can get 2 counters on things. And as well as target creature you control fights target creature you don't control, which is kind of the main thing we're doing with it. Most of the time, you're going to put a 1/1 counter on a creature and fight something. The card is absolutely fantastic. And then we're also playing 4 Collected Company. The card is fantastic in low-to-the-ground aggro decks. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You can put up to 2 creature cards with CMC 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Card's fantastic. Collected Company, can't say enough good things about it. So, that's our entire main board. We've got to talk about our lands real quick, and then we're going to talk about sideboarding and our budget options. We're playing 4 Razorverge Thicket, 3 Botanical Sanctum, 1 Seachrome Coast, 4 Temple Garden, 4 Breeding Pool, 2 Lair of the Hydra, as well as 1 Boseiju, 1 Aganjo, and then rounding out our land base, we're playing 1 Forest and 1 Plains, and as our spicy land of the day, I decided to play the very, very beautiful lands from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, because obviously we're doing a lot of exploring, so we got to play Ixalan lands, right? And I picked the brand new Extended Art ones that are coming out in the set. These cards are awesome. I love these basics. I'm definitely going to be picking some up for myself. So that's our entire main board. Don't go anywhere, though. We've got to talk about the sideboard. Sideboarding plan. Obviously, we're going to need some Graveyard Hate. Rest in Peace is our best option right now. Not only is the card extremely good, but they're about $1 a piece. So if you haven't picked them up, I highly suggest picking them up. We're also going to want some extra removal. Get Lost is a fantastic removal spell coming out in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Gets rid of pretty much almost anything. And yeah, they get a map token, but who cares, whatever. We got rid of their best creature that's in play, or best permanent that we're trying to answer anyways. Then we've got Damping Sphere and Deafening Silence. Very good prison pieces against decks like Mono Green Devotion, Is It Phoenix, and Lotus combo, which obviously, if you're watching the channel, we don't let those decks stick around. We're always trying to beat those decks. So that's just kind of the general sideboarding guide. But if you'd like to know the exact numbers of what I'm playing, it's going to be in the description below if you'd like to check it out for yourself. And then we've got one more thing to talk about, some budget options. So if you're trying to get this deck to around $50, $75, what can we do to make it a little bit more cost efficient? So obviously the big one, we can cut the Collected Companies. Those cards, they go for about $10, $15 a piece. It's definitely a very expensive card in the deck. Actually, I would say the most expensive one. We can go ahead and cut those. We can go ahead and put in really any 4-drop that makes some 1/1 counter shenanigans. I know there's a new Merfolk from Lost Caverns. It's like 2 blue-green. You could put that instead. That's definitely a very, very good substitute as well. We can also cut the shock and utility lands. We're just going to go ahead and just play fast, pain, and slow lands. It definitely trims down on the budget quite a bit. But I would say overall, if you're trying to get the deck to about $50, I would just go ahead and play green-white over the Bant. Because you want to know what? The blue, it's only 1 card. You can just play green-white, and you obviously get the Hardened Scales, the Conclave Mentor, the Botanical Brawler. You get all that still. And then you can just cut the Collected Companies. I can't think of one right now, but there's got to be a lot of really good like green and white +1/+1 counter creatures. Just go ahead and throw one of those in there, and honestly, call it good. That will easily get you to the $50 range, no problem. So, all right, well, that is the end of the video. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video. This was the 4th episode of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan mini special that we're doing here. If you haven't checked out any of the previous videos, I highly suggest doing that. If you go and click on the channel, you'll find them in some of our recent videos that we've done, at least as of the recording of this video. Let me know in the comment section below, is there any card that I forgot to include? And do you have any suggestions for upcoming videos? Just let me know in the comment section below. So, I'm Commander Crane. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.